Praise the Lord, everybody. This is Michael the Servant Harrison here at Tree of Life Church in Casper, Wyoming. I have with me today First Lady Brooke White, and she's going to just share. We've been in a 7-day prayer and fasting about the 7 churches in the book of Revelation. Me and my wife did something earlier where we talked about the church of Ephesus, and now we're going to go to the second part of the church. And Lady Brooke, she's going to read a little bit, and then after that, I'm just going to let the Holy Spirit have his way.
Yes, sir. Thank you for the mic. So we're in Revelations 2, and it's 8 through 11. We're talking about the church of Smyrna. So it starts out in, like I said, in chapter 2, verses 8. And to the angel of the church in Smyrna write, these things say the first and the last, who was dead and who came to life. I know your words, tribulation and poverty, but you are rich. And I know blasphemy of those who say they are Jews and are not, but are a synagogue of Satan. Do not fear any of those things which you are about to suffer. Indeed, the devil is about to throw some of you into prison that you may be tested, and you will have tribulation 10 days. Be faithful until death, and I will give you the crown of life. He who has an ear, let him hear what the Spirit says to the churches. He who overcomes shall not be hurt by the second death.
Amen. Amen.
So the condemnation that it's talking about is gracefully bears suffering, right? So this church is gracefully bearing the suffering. And the criticism from Jesus really is nothing. He's not criticizing, but instead he's instructing them to be faithful until death. Right. And what the promise is the crown of life. And so Jesus is calling us back to being faithful, that through our persecutions, through our trials, through our tribulations, no matter what it is we go through the good times. Because sometimes when summer comes in the state of Wyoming, we hit the water. We decide to go on vacations because we only have a short period of time. And so when we do that and things are great, we put God on the back burner. And so even through those times, we have to remain faithful and do what he's called the church to do. Yes. Through all those things. When I think about faithfulness, I think about God's faithfulness, and I think about how the church can be faithful. And so I just covered a little bit about what the church can do to be faithful, and that is through the good times, through the bad times. No matter what it is you're going through, press into God, push into God, seek God. Seek the more of him. Know that your reward will be your crown of life. There's nothing better. I don't care what riches, I don't care what money you have, the best gift is the crown of life. And so when you think about the faithfulness of God, and if we can only mimic the faithfulness of God, what would that do for the church? If we can mimic his faithfulness, because he never fails. Amen. He is always there despite anything, despite us not loving him, despite us being mad at him. He's still there beside us. Amen. And so we have to allow ourselves to mimic the faithfulness of God. When I think about wanting to be described as something, I'd want to be described as a faithful servant of God. That should be what we would desire our hearts to be. And so if the church can mimic that and desire to be faithful as God is faithful to us. There's this one time that I was in this group where we were going around and we were telling each other compliments, but it couldn't be a compliment like, oh, you have really nice hair today, or your dress is really nice. It had to be something deeper, and we didn't know each other. Well, there was this lady that kind of worked with me. She didn't know me. She was an intern. And she picked my name, and she said, I want to tell you that you are the most faithful person I've ever seen. You're the most godliest person I've ever seen. Wow. And it humbled me because I know I can do so much better. We all can. Right. But when I think about that description and her describing me as such, it only made me want to make sure that I showed that more. And so I think we have to do better. And we have to, I think we all want to hear Jesus, not have criticism, of the church, but rather encourage us to remain faithful and call us back to faithfulness. So I challenge you in 2020 that you test your faithfulness, meaning look at yourself, take an inventory and see if you're being faithful enough. And if not, what can you do to increase your faith? And can you line yourself up with God's faithfulness? I think that we can all do a little bit more when it comes to our faithfulness and aligning ourselves with the faithfulness of God. Amen. I hope you all are blessed.
Amen.
Thank you, Brother Mike.
Amen. Thank you, guys. And that was just a summary of that particular scripture that we shared. So until next time, God bless you. Talk to you soon. Peace.
You're blessed.